Aaliyah was a bright, shining star. She was young, very talented, and everyone loved her. One day she got on a small plane that didn't feel safe and it crashed. People were very sad and confused. Why was she on that plane? Who decided she should go? Some people think powerful people might have been involved. Her story is full of mystery and questions that still make fans wonder what really happened. But that's not all. Some say she didn't even want to get on the plane. Others whisper that secrets and powerful people were hiding the truth. Was it really an accident or was something more going on behind the scenes? The answers are still unknown, and her story keeps fans asking the same question. What really happened to Ali? At the height of her fame, Aaliyah wasn't just popular, she was unstoppable. While most teens were still finding themselves, she was already ruling the R&B world. Fans even compared her to icons like Beyoncé, saying she had the same beauty, the same talent, and the same powerful presence. But what truly made her different wasn't just her voice, it was her effortless style, her smooth aura, and that quiet confidence that commanded attention without ever demanding it. The year 2001 changed everything in a single moment.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when their plane went down.
Aaliyah died in a tragic plane crash in the Bahamas, and just like that, the world lost her. One moment she was at the top of her career, and the next, she was gone. Fans everywhere were left in shock. It didn't just feel heartbreaking, it felt unreal. As the years passed, more details began to surface. This wasn't an ordinary crash. Reports claimed the small private plane was overloaded with heavy luggage. There were also allegations that the pilot wasn't fit to fly, and that Aaliyah herself was unwell and helped onto the aircraft. Those questions have lingered ever since.
There's a new book coming out about the late singer Aaliyah, and they're talking about the day of her death. An eyewitness says that Aaliyah did not want to board the plane. She was given a sleeping pill and was carried on unconscious. As you know, Aaliyah passed away 20 years ago.
And that detail really matters. Aaliyah was known to be afraid of flying. So why would she suddenly step onto a small plane that didn't even look safe? Why get on board if it was overloaded? Why not just wait for a safer option?
When she actually saw the plane, she, we had the Blackberries, and she said, "I don't like this plane." And I was like, "Well, don't get on it." And she was like, "Well, I got to because I got work to do." She got on the plane, and she always had a very serious fear of planes in general. So she had to overcome a fear to get on that plane on the way there.
Those questions never really disappeared. Over time, conspiracy theories started to grow. When a global star dies suddenly, rumors are almost inevitable. And Aaliyah was no exception. In the documentary Surviving R. Kelly, Part 2 The Reckoning, music executive Damon Dash referred to her as a sacrificial lamb while discussing her past connection to R. Kelly, a statement that shocked many viewers and reignited old conversations. Years later, in 2026, her name began trending again when serious allegations surfaced involving Jay-Z. As more stories about the music industry came out, people online started connecting dots, questioning whether powerful figures were being protected and wondering if her tragic crash was truly just an accident or something deeper. Officially, authorities ruled it an accident caused by an overloaded aircraft and pilot error, and there has never been concrete proof that it was planned. Still, for many fans, the unanswered questions feel heavy. Now, with 50 Cent publicly calling out influential names in the industry, speculation is rising once again, with some claiming he had been hinting at hidden truths for years.
Jay's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll analyze other people and other things that they're doing and not actually look at what's happening to him and his transition and difference. But right now, he's in a real safe space. He created this real safe.
Social media is exploding with claims, theories, and shocking accusations. Some are even asking if certain people stood to gain from Aaliyah's death. Was it truly a tragic accident? Or was there something more happening behind the scenes in an industry notorious for secrets? The evidence for the latter certainly feels compelling.
There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like the
Why the f would you need to sign a nigga don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental?
Do you feel like
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
and I'm gonna ask you?
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul play?
Now, mind you, September 11th happened a
That's
week
not an
later.
answer.
9/11 happened a week later. Do you think that took away from it?
Once again, there are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of fucking money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
Hey.
There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out and recorded regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. What the fuck?
Oh.
What would you need a nigga don't ask for that? And Diddy had Hype Williams and balls. Belly was a money pit.
Question?
And Jay-Z got 10 free videos out of Williams. And Hype didn't work for free.
Investigators on the crash revealed that the aircraft was overloaded by about 700 pounds. The pilot reportedly had alcohol and drugs in his system and wasn't properly certified to fly that type of plane. Aaliyah died from severe injuries, including burns and a head trauma, and others on board also lost their lives. Her parents later filed wrongful death lawsuits against the production and aviation companies involved, but settlements were eventually reached, leaving many questions about accountability.
What was so great about that piece of soul plane? And why couldn't she walk on it by herself? Why did she have to be carried?
She was terrified to get on that plane.
Told Dame it didn't look right.
Yep.
Didn't understand why demands were made by the director for her to go on something that definitely didn't look better. And more importantly, what gave him the authority to tell her that she couldn't take Lenny Kravitz's plane? When the f*** are we gonna talk to Hype Williams? We need to talk to Hype Williams.
And we need to reopen that case.
Absolutely.
If there's nothing to hide, it shouldn't be a problem to reopen it.
Not at all.
But over the years, questions never fully went away. Some people noticed strange patterns, like how Aaliyah, Michael Jackson, and Lisa Lopez all died on the 25th of a month. Others focused on rumors of powerful industry figures protecting their own interests. One theory claims Jay-Z had a romantic interest in Aaliyah while he was connected to Rockefeller Records with Damon Dash. Damon later said Jay-Z pursued her, but she wasn't interested, and she and Damon ended up dating instead.
And then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both f***ed Aaliyah. They shared so much in common.
I refuse. Like, we done. You know what I'm saying? You gonna f with this man, you knew he raped my girl, you was in love with her. How could you do that? It's obviously you want me to feel away. Like, it wasn't enough money for us to do that. So I was done. I thought I was cool about it. Like, I was like, I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm just be out. And then I thought I was cool about it. I really did.
So this is after Jay tried to talk to Aaliyah, but she chose you over him.
You know the timeline, bro. We did the project when she died, which was even more disrespectful to me. And I'm not getting over that.
So where does that leave us now? There's no confirmed evidence linking Jay-Z, Beyonce or Diddy to Aaliyah's death. Yet, many statements from insiders and those close to the industry suggest there may be more to her story than meets the eye. One shocking detail is that Aaliyah was never even supposed to be on that plane in the first place.
When I asked you about Aaliyah, what was the situation with Hype Williams where, you know, he took her plane and she had to take the plane that he was using? Like, what happened with that?
No. She was in Miami and the video was supposed to be in Miami. And I had told her, I was like, Hype does this thing where he'll act like he needs more days just so he can get paid more. And don't let him do that. And then, you know, all of a sudden she comes back and was like, he wants to go to the Bahamas. I was like, I told you he was going to do that. And what I had heard was that, what I was told was she was supposed to be on Lenny Kravitz's jet, but like he offered it to her. And you could ask Lenny Kravitz, I guess. And Hype took it and had her on that plane. But he had to like pattern, like when we did Big Pimpin', like we're in hotels and he's in a house with a chef, he's throwing dinners on our dime. And I'm like, well, why are we in a hotel and this thing got his own house with a chef and we're paying for it? And that's why I cut Big Pimpin'. So I was like, I knew his tricks on what he used to do and how he used to play the labels. So I cut the video, like, we going back to Miami. So I knew that he was gonna try that same play with her, and he did. And then, you know, if utilized for him as far as making, you know, himself more comfortable than the artist on the artist's dime, I knew he was gonna do that.
Yeah, that's pretty man.
Yeah, it is. Somebody should ask him about it.
Yeah, they should. I mean, she'll still be here. If she was on the plane she was supposed to be on.
I said a lot of things years ago, and they all realized themselves later. But the things that I found appalling for some reason 10 years ago, no one found them appalling when they were happening. It took for everyone to get busted for people to find it appalling. But no one ever says when they don't have to, because nobody really gives a I've seen that firsthand. But once it becomes popular opinion, that's when everybody's appalled. You know, that's when they pay attention. That's when Dame was right again. But wrong in the moment, overreacting in the moment, but 10 years later, I was dead right.
He also mentioned how Jay-Z suddenly appeared to care about Aaliyah only after her death, even though he hadn't shown concern while she was alive. For Damon Dash, one moment changed everything between him and Jay-Z. The final straw. That moment came when Jay-Z decided to make an album with R. Kelly, despite all that had come to light about what R. Kelly had done to Aaliyah.
You can remember that was like kind of like the final straw for you?
Yeah, when Jay did a project with R. Kelly, knowing that he had raped Aaliyah. How much more of that? You know what I'm saying? What more would you need? So your supposed best friend, partner, does a project with someone that he knows raped your partner's girl when she was a child, and you still say that had nothing to do with me, I'm gonna still get money with him. You know, that one was a wake-up call for real, for sure. And I don't think anyone that's human, if anyone could look the other way from that, they are that a man should stop calling themselves a man if they can hang out with a dude that will work with someone that the person they love. And yeah, I was told by Aaliyah, do not ruffle no feathers, because it's going to bring more awareness to it, and she wanted to move on. So she said, yo, you could be around, but I wouldn't be around the projects, but that record they did together, you know, you could be in the video, actually be in the video, because I wasn't going to go. She told me to go be in the video. She said, just don't be in no scenes or take no pictures with him. And I did that. I respected that.
Man, that must have been really, really hard for you. I can't even imagine how tough something like that would be?
Well, you know, it wasn't like I was crying about it or nothing. It just made me look at someone that I a different way. And I knew that there wasn't too much more of a future moving forward.
Said he respected that. Supporting some said he respected that. Supporting some things but keeping his distance from R. Kelly as she asked. Still, the choice stayed with him. When R. Kelly was finally arrested years later, Damon said he wasn't shocked it happened. He was shocked it took so long.
R. Kelly finally was arrested. I mean, he had been getting away with all types of stuff for like a really long time.
I mean, I think at a certain level you get like a 30-year run. And after 30, it's like almost like the devil comes and says, I'm going to give you 30 years to do what you want. But then it turns out bad. So I was surprised it took so long for something to happen, just based on what I was hearing. I was surprised it took so long for people. Like, it was crazy to me that the only time people say they're not fucking with somebody is when they get busted. But if they know it, they still fucking with them. They just don't fuck with them when it's not in style anymore. So that was more my thing. I was like, y'all know what this, you know, when people were still fucking with it. And I was just like, you know, I felt sorry for humans overall, because it was like, where's the humanity? You know, where's the like personal respect for yourself and morals? Like, you just do what everybody does, and it's still like that. So like, again, you know, with most of the people that are jammed up right now, people knew it. They just didn't say nothing until everybody else did. See, that's where I get somewhat ostracized, because I say things and call people out before it's fashionable. I call it out as soon as I see it. So you gotta remember, pause, I was beefing with the Weinstein. And damn near everybody else that I don't with, it turns out that there was a reason for it that was justified. It's just everybody else was scared to say something.
And when it came to Jay-Z working with R. Kelly, Damon Dash said that was when he realized they were built differently. Could this collaboration have been a vendetta against him and Aaliyah? The most shocking claim is that R. Kelly and Aaliyah may have even had a child together.
Because you came up in the 90s in this music era, to where when you hear stories of R. Kelly with Aaliyah, possible, you know, marriage, possible love child, and things of that nature.
There was a
there was.
That happened.
It wasn't even rumored. It was like those were real articles back then.
Everyone knew it too.
According to her, young girls with talent were often surrounded by powerful older men from the start. They promised to help with careers, offering record deals, endorsements, and fame. While it was presented as mentorship, she suggested that sometimes it was something much darker.
But she's already being prepared by the age of 13, 14 years old. Older men are already there, watching, swooning. And it's funny because the way it always plays out is just, you know, they're there to help you with your career. They're there to help you further your career. These are the kind of people that you need to spend time with. They're going to make sure you get seen. They're going to make sure that you get the records. They're going to make sure that you get the endorsements. Like it's always been that way.
Was it deemed okay by just
Okay? It was deemed okay. Of course it was deemed okay. It wasn't until the early 2000s when people started saying, hey, there's something wrong with this. There's something wrong with this. It's not, you know, for a 30-some-odd-year-old guy to be hooking up with a 15-year-old girl 25 years ago, that was no big deal. Now, there are other people that will sit up there and say, oh, that's a dirty old man. But that's about the extent of how far it would go. You know, and as long as he took care of her, and made sure she was in her apartment, and made sure that her parents, you know, were taken care of, like, this shit has been going on a long damn time. A long time. To the point where it wasn't until I became, you know, by the time I got to my 20s, I'm sitting there looking at guys that I know messing around with young girls. I'm like, yeah, that's a baby. You should stay away from that. because of my own personal experiences and what I went through.
When R. Kelly was finally sentenced, she said she wasn't surprised he got caught, just surprised it took so long.
It's so funny because you bring up R. Kelly and we look at R. Kelly, they just gave him his out date. He can get out of jail in 2045.
Yeah, I think he'll be 73 or 72 or something.
You wanna know what's wild? How did he get that kind of time? He did worse. How could he even get that kind of time?
And more money?
Yes.
Better lawyers?
Yes. Or maybe his enemies just aren't as vicious. You know, this culture of older men messing with young girls and, you know, it's just kind of wild like that.
But I'll say this. So to answer your question about the R. Kelly situation,
Yeah.
surviving R. Kelly, uh, it was so damning that a DA chose to get involved and bring charges to him off of a documentary. We get this Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, after the fact. Like if that would have came before the fact, maybe it would have been a different outcome.
But it really makes you wonder, why did R. Kelly get off with such a light sentence? Did he still have powerful people protecting him? Lisa Van Allen added to the allegations about Aaliyah and R. Kelly, revealing that he didn't just sleep with Aaliyah, but also with her mother.
So he's confiding in you at this point, and he's telling you about his own sexual abuse.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of stuff did he tell you?
First thing he confided in me about was about his own sexual abuse. He told me that his sister molested him when they were children. She would make him put a pencil in her vagina, do oral on him. He would do oral on her, things like that. So that made me really comfortable with talking to him about what happened to me. And, that was like the first initial thing that made us kind of bond. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we dealt with that. He told me about him and Aaliyah, their situation. They had a pact, pins and eyeballs, no matter what anyone said, or if anyone stuck pins in their eyeballs, they would never tell about their relationship. Things like that.
Okay, so what exactly did he tell you about his relationship with Aaliyah outside of the pins and eyeballs thing?
He told me that they were married, that she was pregnant, that they did doctor up the marriage certificate so she would say that she was 18, so they could get married. And the reason they got married was because they felt like if he was married to her and if he said he thought that she was 18, that he wouldn't be charged if someone found out she was pregnant until they were able to get the abortion and get it annulled.
Okay, because I'd always heard that rumor that R. Kelly married Aaliyah because he had gotten her pregnant.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And this came out of his mouth. I could take a lie detector test to this. This is what he told me, specifically told me.
Okay. I mean, you cleared out like literally a decades old rumor.
Right.
Like,
No, it's not a rumor.
Anyone actually.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So R. Kelly was having sex with her from like what age? 14, 15?
Honestly, I'm not really sure the age, but I definitely know when they got married, she was 15. So if she was pregnant, I mean, I'm imagining at least 14, So.
Okay. So R. Kelly gets Aaliyah pregnant. They try to get married with a fake age. It ultimately gets annulled. Aaliyah never talks about it.
Yeah. They stuck to their pact.
She said he described it as a promise to protect each other and keep everything quiet. Then came the most serious claim. Lisa said R. Kelly told her that he and Aaliyah were married and that Aaliyah was pregnant at the time. He allegedly said they altered the marriage papers to make her appear 18, even though she was younger.
I never asked him why. I guess because we were kind of like in a conversation of just confiding in each other. But he did get a little more in depth with more details about when her mother found out and that her mother He actually stayed at their home in Detroit, and her mother actually was really attracted to him as well. And he said when Aaliyah would go to sleep, that he would this is what he said. He said that he would go in the living room and him and her would do sexual acts on the couch while Aaliyah was sleeping in the bedroom.
R. Kelly was having sex with Aaliyah and her mother at the same time?
That's
I mean,
what
not the exact same time, but
That's what he
same
said.
time frame?
That's what he says. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe this is why Aaliyah's parents have never spoken out themselves.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Wow, this is something I've never heard before.
Right. Came from his mouth.
Okay. And I mean, you're 17 at the time, so I guess it didn't really
Yeah. I just was
bother
like,
you.
other than like, wow. Really what was like, wow for me was the mother, when he said that. And then, at this right now, we don't know what's true about what he says, but that's just what he said. So
Aaliyah had a really rough life, so when she died, it shocked her fans, but even more so the people closest to her. Oshino said he was in Miami with Damon Dash when they got the phone call that Aaliyah had died in a plane crash. They were all there working on music, and the moment the news hit, everything changed.
You were right there when you got the news?
Yeah, I was right there. We was in Miami. I was with Dame. Yep. We was down there. We was always, all State Property was down there. We was down there. I think we was recording music down there. Yeah.
How did Dame react when he got the phone call?
When he first got the actual phone call, I wasn't like right there with him, but like that day, the day. I mean, he was devastated about it. I mean, you know what I mean? Everybody was devastated about it because even if you ain't know her, it's just like, it's like something happened to Beyonce right now. I mean, people, you don't gotta.
At one point, he even mentioned R. Kelly calling himself the Pied Piper, referencing the story of a man who led children away with music. Looking back, Oshino said that nickname feels deeply unsettling now.
But he called himself the Pied Piper. When I found out who the Pied Piper was, I said, I don't think people know who the Pied Piper was.
It was with the rats.
The story I read was like, as a guy took the kids from a village. He took the kids and they never saw the kids again.
Oh no, I thought the Pied Piper played his flute. And
He played the flute.
The rats all followed him.
The joint I saw was that he was playing the flute and his kids was following him, and the kids never came. The kids never came back again.
So you're saying he was just hiding in plain
sight? He said, "I'm the Pied Piper." And that's
I think you're right. It is the kids.
It's kids that follow.
Well, one of them shows kids. The other one shows rats.
The one I saw was kids.
I'm seeing both. Yeah, but you're right. I'm seeing both.
The guy played the flute and the kids all follow him out the town and they never see the kids again. I said, yo, he's telling you who he is, the Pied Piper. When I first saw the story, I'm like, oh, that's what he mean by that. He really fucking telling you.
Toward the end, the conversation shifted to tension between Jay-Z and Damon Dash. Oshino suggested that when powerful men clash, it's not always just business. Sometimes it's personal. He even hinted that Aaliyah may have been involved in that tension. Could that friction have led to her death? Let us know in the comments.